So I'm going to start off with, I think one of the best ways I can summarize what I bring to my practice and what I offer you here is just a reflection on the amazing miracle that we are. And so we're just going to take a moment, and if you just want to find a still space, if you want to close your eyes, and I'm going to read you a message to you from God. You are the greatest miracle in the world. Let us take inventory. You can see, and the 100 million receptors I've placed in your eyes enable you to enjoy the magic of a leaf, a snowflake, a pond, an eagle, a child, a rose, a rainbow, and the look of love. Count one blessing. You can hear, and the 24,000 fibers I've built in each of your ears vibrate to the wind in the trees, the tides on the rocks, the majesty of an opera, children at play, and the words I love you. Count another blessing. You can speak, and your words can calm the angry, uplift the despondent, goad the quitter, cheer the unhappy, warm the lonely, encourage the defeated, and teach the ignorant. And say I love you. Count another blessing. You can move, you can stretch and run and dance and work, for within you I've designed 500 muscles, 200 bones, and 7 miles of nerve fibers, all synchronized by me to do your bidding. Count another blessing. Your heart is strong. Touch your chest. Go ahead, touch your chest. And feel its rhythm, pulsating hour after hour, day and night, 36 million beats each year. Year after year, asleep or awake, pumping your blood through more than 60,000 miles of veins, arteries, tubing, pumping more than 600,000 gallons each year. Man has never created such a machine. Count another blessing. Your brain is the most complex structure in the universe, I know. Within its 3 pounds are 13 billion nerve cells, more than 3 times as many cells as there are people on your earth, to help you file away every perception, every sound, every taste, every smell, every action you've ever experienced since the day of your birth. Every incident in your life is there waiting only for you to recall. You are my finest creation. Never in all the 70 billion humans who have walked this planet since the beginning of time has there been anyone exactly like you. Never until the end of time will there be another such as you. You are the rarest thing in the world. Be proud. You are not the momentary whim of a careless creator experimenting in the laboratory of life. You were made with a purpose. I gave you the power to think. I gave you the power to love. I gave you the power to will, to laugh, to imagine. I gave you the power to create. I gave you the power to plan, to speak, to pray, and to heal. You are more than a human being. You are a human becoming. You are capable of great wonders. Your potential is unlimited. You are the greatest miracle in the world. Take a deep breath in. And open your eyes and rejoin us. So that was from the book, The Greatest Miracle in the World by Og Mandino. If any of you are interested, it's a beautiful story. And I like to open from there because that's the place where our healing is coming from. I'd say that my talent is in storytelling, is in helping to take some of the things that seem complex and overwhelming and synthesize them and simplify them so they become real, a real possibility for people. And so my element, my art form, is earth medicine, using what the earth has provided us to be able to help our innate healing potential, that natural ability of ourselves to heal, be vibrant, to be expressed, and to get anything out of the way that's interfering with that possibility. And so what I'm going to do in the few moments that we have together, I really like tangible, practical things. So we're going to dive in, and I'm going to share with you some of the things that I've learned from my patients. So this is really a gift from them to you, because I'm in this really interesting point right now where I've taken a sabbatical. And so prior to my sabbatical, for the last 13 years or so, I've been working with the individuals who are falling through the cracks, who haven't found relief in some of our traditional models. And so I work with children with autism. About half my practice has been children on the autism spectrum. Autoimmune disease, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, cancer, arthritis, multiple sclerosis, lupus. You kind of get the individuals who there are no real good answers for. And I've seen people heal from almost everything. And so within me, what I want to radiate to you is this knowingness, this absolute knowingness that you can create anything in your body. Any state of where you're at right now, you can recover. And that's the knowingness I want to share with you. So here's the interesting experiment I took on. So I had this idea of taking a sabbatical to write, because I wanted to be on the other side of the equation. For several years, I've been on the side of helping people once they've become ill. So helping these children who are on the autism spectrum, helping them to work their way through. And I say work their way through because I have seen children both come onto the spectrum and off of the spectrum. It's a very real possibility. I have decided to take some time so I can get to the front end of the conversation. This is beautiful but annoying. So to get to the front end of the conversation, how can we help people to prevent getting to these places where the messaging is so loud that we can't not pay attention? How can we help people to thrive and to never have to go through these extreme experiences of illness and disease? And so I just started getting really quiet. And as in this year coming up to prepare for my sabbatical, I started asking questions. And we reversed the roles a little bit. People would come in to see me, and especially the patients I've seen who have had amazing recoveries, spontaneous recoveries from things that had been told that were not recoverable. And I'd ask them, and I was very sincere in my pursuit. It's funny because I'm very heartfelt, and yet sometimes the mind, especially when you're in like doctor mode, research mode, I was going to research for what I wanted to write and what I wanted to share, so I took this very serious. That should have been my first kind of warning. I was going in the wrong direction, that seriousness, right? But I had my pen and my paper in hand, and I was going to take notes. So I started asking the question, what about our interaction with one another? What is it about the care you've received that you would credit with being the most impactful for your healing? And this is where, honestly, it's really humbling as a practitioner, because I fully expected to hear about all the nutritional plans I'd put together, all the detoxification protocols, all the amazing herbs prescribed, and all of the therapies given, and the manipulations done, and all of the things that I provided to them. And I'm going to share with you what the bulk, the synthesis of what my patients taught me really helped them to accomplish amazing things. And when I say amazing things, I really want you to get so we're talking about people with late-stage multiple sclerosis, not able to walk, and wanting to be ready and be able to prepare for her daughter's wedding, and within a matter of a year walked down the aisle. I'm talking about late-stage Lyme's disease, where people have intractable pain and the constantly headaches, and them completely recovering to the other side. I'm talking about tumors dissipating. I'm talking about child development re-engaging. I'm talking about serious healing here. And the really humbling thing I learned is it had so little to do with what I was doing. And it really had everything to do with who I was being and who they were being. And so I'm going to share with you, from my perspective, standing here with you, the 3 things that my patients taught me, and I share them with you very, very humbly, because they're so simple, and yet they've so profoundly have impacted my life that it's almost difficult to speak about them, because we so get in the mode of doing. And especially when you're entrusted, when someone comes to you and they entrust their well-being and you want to do everything you can for them, it's really easy to get into the checklist of we're going to diagnose this and we're going to check this and we're going to treat this and we're going to leave no stone unturned until we get to the core of the issue. And really, like, the truth is that they came in and most of my patients actually knew their own answers. And I just needed to get quiet. Okay, so without any further ado, we're going to jump in. So here's our first one. And we're going to play this game, me and my team back here. So I'm going to point at them, and then they're going to magically make things appear on the screen. So that's my subtle cue. Oh, good. Okay. I learned through pictures. So I'm going to put up some pictures from time to time with the intent that this gets planted visually for you. So some people learn great through hearing, and I personally learn great through pictures. So I'm going to take the key points I really want to land. Holy crap, we got 5 minutes. Okay. That's so sad. The first is hope. This, I believe, is the #1 thing that I did in my practice to cause healing. I caused healing. I'm still doing it. Isn't that funny? Multiple sclerosis. I was the one who had to facilitate, or I had a colleague who had helped somebody. I mean, I went far and wide to make sure I paired that person up with someone who had already healed. And I believe that that made healing truly possible for them. Not some theoretical thing, not something that perhaps maybe if I do everything right and I do my posture and I do my yoga perfectly and I take my supplements every day and I do my smoothies without missing and then I don't get stressed about it because, oh my God, right? But the moment I let go and I connected them with someone who had already accomplished it, I really think we were like more than halfway there. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. So part of really causing hope, I think, is keeping things simple. I think this may be one of the biggest mistakes that we're making right now. Not mistakes, it's an opportunity. We have so much information, and so many people are motivated to find information that the moment they have a symptom, whether it's an itchy rash or a heart palpitation or a headache, we're Googling and searching and, WebMDing and all those amazing tools out there, but it's overwhelming, and it causes us to totally get paralyzed, and all of a sudden it seems like, oh my God, I don't know where to start, so maybe I won't start. So maybe I should just listen to what they tell me what to do, or if they tell me I have 6 months to live, they're probably right. They have more experience than me. And so I think the key is to keep it simple. So here are a couple simple things, and I know they're so easy, but I'm going to show you some pictures because these are the things time and time again. My patients came back and said, you remember, you showed me this picture. I'm a big picture show. You showed me this picture of this, and I never forgot it. And so I'm just going to show you some of those pictures. So the first thing is about food. Go ahead, next picture. The first thing is about food. We make food really difficult. If we look at what our bodies are made of, we are condensed what? Sunlight. We're condensed sunlight. It doesn't matter who you speak to. ultimately we're condensed light. So if we make this so easy for ourselves as far as food choices, I want to eat food that's going to put more light into my body, more energy into my body. Now we can get into all kinds of nitty-gritty details of body types and constitutions and seasons and where you live in the right. But if we're just going to keep it simple, I want to put things into my body that cause my light, my frequency to shine brighter. So here's a couple pictures. Let's go back to our picture. This is a picture of a sprout. Okay, so you can just see this light coming out of a sprout. The first picture was a goji berry, right? Huge, bright light. In its raw form, that light is so bright. Now, if you cook the food, it gets a little less bright. If you compare organic and non-organic, you see a huge difference in the amount of light, right? If you microwave that food, no light. Just go show the next picture. Can you guess what this is? This is funny, and this is something I show my patients who are really addicted to fast food. That's my hint. You see that little green halo around the outside? You know what that is? It is. It's actually, I think, a Big Mac. And the little things are like the lettuce, the like little sad lettuce they put on the Big Mac is like on the outside. And that's what that little tiny bit of green is. But then you just see all that darkness, right? Isn't that an easy way to think about food? Cool. Okay, next slide. Water. And Grandma Aggie, I wanted to put this picture up because it was so great. I love when, we're all channeling from the same source. So, water. Our bodies are made of water, right? So, of course, we have these conversations of how much water to drink. Let's drink pure spring water that the earth is providing, because that's literally what Mother Earth is saying here. Here, out of my womb, out of my breast, here is what I want to offer you to drink, fresh spring water. Really simple. But this was such a great point, and I wanted to show it to you in a picture form, because we often get into the conversation of, I'm going to beat my cancer, I'm going to whip this arthritis into shape, right? I'm going to kick that cold, or whatever it is. That cold and that cancer is us. It's all us. There's nothing happening outside of us. It's all us. And so if you see on the left, this is Masaru Emoto's work. Many of you are probably familiar. But I love to just use it as a picture to see every time we say thank you. So what if instead of our diagnosis, we're angry and fighting it, which causes the structure of water on the right to be all disshapen and disharmonious? What if we were able to get to the place of gratitude in asking, what message is this dis-ease alerting me to? And I found, because as practice grew and grew and grew, cases got harder and harder and harder. And here's the gift of it. The bigger the dis-ease, the bigger the message, the bigger the gift. I mean, I'm talking about life-blowing gifts on the other side of these illnesses. And so I personally absolutely have a respect for every type of way that we're going to address illness and disease. I think there's a time and a place for all of it. And I would add that it's a missed opportunity. If no matter, regardless of the approach that you're going to take, whether it's strictly conventional pharmaceutical or strictly natural herbal, it doesn't matter what you're doing. To ask the question, what is the message that this is giving me, so I can really get to the source of it? I'm so far over my time, it's kind of ridiculous. Are we okay? Okay. This is so fun. Are we having fun? Oh, I just love this. I just love it. Okay. Bharat Mitra's like, shit, I told her she could keep talking. He's going to go figure it out. Okay. This is something that I did some research on in the last couple of years, and I was actually involved in the research. And I wanted to show you, one of the things I love to do is to take things out of our head and out of academia and make it real, right? So that you can really know that something is real in your body. And one of those things that I studied for the past couple of years has been the phenomenon of earthing. Who's heard of earthing? Yeah, right? It's like been around forever. In so many traditions, we want to, Tai Chi, for example, we know put your bare feet on the earth. The Native American traditions, bare feet on the earth. All these amazing moccasins outside that still allow Earth's energy to come through. Beautiful. So what's really happening? And that's what's interesting now. I'm just going to show you, and go ahead and let's start the video of the sunflower. So this is a study that I participated in the University of Tucson. And what we did is we took two sunflowers. The one on the left is connected to the earth. And so we don't have to talk about how, but it's connected to the earth's energy. The one on the right is not. And this is a time lapse of what happens when we disconnect from earth energy. And so you can see over time, and this has been replicated, we probably did it 100 times. It happens every time, no matter what. And you can see how that connection to the earth maintains potency. Now the reason I wanted to do it with sunflowers, and we've done all kinds of studies with people, but what's so amazing about sunflowers is like we all get it, right? Like that sunflower is us. And when we're connected to the earth, we're vibrant and we're strong. And when we're not, we're wilted, we're weak, we're sick, right? We're de-energized. And so there's a very real, and we could talk about this for days, but what I want to leave you with on this topic is that there is a very real energy. So just like we know the sun gives us energy, which hits our skin and makes vitamin D, right? And that we all know, and that seems to be common knowledge now. What's not yet common knowledge is that the Earth's surface has that very real same energy. And we've become so disconnected from that energy. Think about it. Some of us go for years without ever touching the Earth. Anything that will insulate our bodies from the Earth, so our rubber-soled shoes, our cars. I know people who have gone literally years without touching the Earth. So what are we absorbing when we touch the Earth? From a scientific and a health perspective, what we're absorbing are electrons. So we're absorbing electrons in our body. They act as antioxidants and quench. What does it quench? Who knows? Inflammation. It quenches inflammation. So this is a very practical thing I want to encourage you to do. At least 20 minutes a day. Take off your shoes. Get outside on grass, sand, or bare concrete, and you will feel an unbelievable difference in aches and pains, in any of the itises. Anything that ends in itis is an inflammation, which is most of our chronic disease. It also resets cortisol balance. And we can go through all these things, but what it means to you is that you'll wake up feeling more energized, be able to handle stress more effectively through the day, and be able to go to sleep at night, because that's the job, the rhythm of cortisol. So that's something really practical. For us traveling, I can't in good conscience not tell us this. When you go up in the air, your blood thickens because of the increased potential, electrical potential between you and the earth. When you're up that high in an atmosphere, what happens to your blood is it starts to thicken. It starts to slow. That's why so many people have heart attacks, have strokes, have cardiovascular events very shortly after they fly. So one of the easiest, simplest things that you can do is after you get out of your flight, take your shoes off. If you can catch a patch, so bags, where's my son? I said it for you, Kev. I'm from Minnesota, so sometimes the YA bags comes out. Get a patch of grass, sand, or unfinished concrete, and while you're waiting for your luggage to come out, you'll start to be able to help thin your blood and cause it to start flowing more freely. It happens within minutes. And if you can get at least 5 minutes, an ideal time would be 20 minutes, you'll see a tremendous improvement in your energy levels and also your ability to calibrate to the local time zone. Enough on that, but I could speak about that forever. Okay. Number 2. Go ahead, pop it up to us. We're on we're on speed zone. Second thing my patients told me was that one of the most important things to heal is joy. And I'm going to take a moment to distinguish this, because this was really confusing for me personally. Really, really confusing. Because people have told me to follow my joy. And so for me, following my joy looked like helping people. And helping people. And helping people. Right? And before I knew it, I was helping and volunteering and doing all of these things in an effort to express my joy and follow my joy and follow my joy and follow my joy. And this is a trap. In fact, I got really, really, really sick thinking that I was following my joy. And it's a story for another time and a longer moment. But what I want to encourage you is to just ask the question of yourself. If you find yourself doing this is the sign you're watching for. This is very scientific. I'm helping over here, and I'm giving over there. Do you love me now? I hope you do. I'm helping over here, and I'm giving over there. Do you love me now? I hope you do. I'm giving over here, and I'm helping over there. Do you love me now? I hope you do. You getting it? Okay, put on our music for a second. We need to stand up and stretch. Go ahead, chicken song, and follow me. Here we go. Nice and loud. Ready? Part of the song where we all skip, right? It's so good. So I share that silly thing, but you're not going to forget this message coming after. There's always a method to the madness. Because even in the most heroic of acts, even in banishing the world of GMOs, finding a cure for cancer, helping children with autism, you name it, all those things are absolutely great, but not great if at the expense of yourself, right? It comes from here. It comes from a place of ease. And so I'm just going to share with you, you can put up the next slide, one sentence that has changed my life and I believe has helped me to refine my balance, which is a good mother message that I think many of us may have not heard and have not been told. And if I had more time, we'd do an exercise, but I'm just going to share it from you as close as I can with as much depth of sincerity so you really feel it. Okay, so take a breath. And I want to let you know that I love you for who you are, not what you do. Who you are is enough. Take a breath. I love you for who you are, not what you do. Who you are is enough. One more time. Breath in. I love you for who you are, not what you do. And who you are is enough. Let's just sit in that for a second. Because everything we're going to do is coming from this place right here. Right here. From the ease and the stillness and the joy. You got it? Say, I got it. I got it. And I'm not going to forget it. And if I do, I'm going to think of that stupid-ass song that Christy made me do with the chickens, right? But that's such a good thing when you start feeling off balance and you feel your tail feathers wagging too fast and your ba-ba-ba and ba-ba-ba-ba. Just whatever your practice is, just we have time. I know there's a lot to do, and we have time. We do. Okay, last, number 3. Put up the prescription is support. Wow, we could like take a whole day on each one of these, right? But this is who we are for ourselves, for each other, is that support. And I actually don't mean attaboy support. I don't mean rah, rah, yeah, let's do it kind of support. I mean finding out from one another what really matters to the other and reminding us when we're not being that. Right? That's actually one of the greatest gifts we can give each other because so few people are courageous enough to do that. And so that's what my patients taught me is oftentimes I was the only one who would take a stand and say, you know what, I get it. Like, hot dogs at ball games are really fun. And you told me you're committed to living. And for me, I take a stand for your health. And so to be that for each other, that level of support, right? And sometimes that support can actually be quiet. It's just in these intimate moments where we have that opportunity to support. And so in summary, it wouldn't be complete without acknowledging my support, because when I stand here, all of you are giving me energy, and my family is giving me energy. And who we are, the beauty that we feel inside, really depends on the clarity of the mirrors that we're seeing ourselves in. And so to my beautiful husband on our first anniversary, I just want to thank you. Yeah, you can acknowledge him, and then I'll say the mushy part. I want to acknowledge you for putting up a mirror where who I see in the mirror of us is so beautiful. Thank you. My pleasure.